Becoming a millionaire. Who hasn't dreamt about it? We've all had the thoughts in our head of what it could be like. The cars, the houses, the holidays. Well, the truth is, most of us are actually going to die millionaires, and it's going to look nothing like we dreamt. Inflation can be extremely cruel. So the real question is, how can you become a millionaire without having to wait 30 years for it? Well, in today's video, I wanted to share my plans and thought processes on how I'm going to get there, which include projects I've been working on, which I've never spoken about before. Regarding my goal, who knows if I'll get there in any reasonable time frame, but I'm going to try. I think the saying goes, it's better to try and fail than to never try at all. At my current rate of investing, which is purely driven by my salary, I'm due to get there by the year 2040. And to clarify, when I say becoming a millionaire, it isn't a net worth of $1 million. It's actually having $1 million in investments. But for me, I don't want to wait until I'm 50 to get there. I'd much rather be there in my 30s. But as I've only turned 30 within the last 12 months, I better get a move on, as I actually haven't got a lot of time left. The sad reality for me, and most likely yourself, is that income in the form of a salary isn't going to get us there quick enough. Even if I or you get promoted once or twice in that time, our earning capacity is going to be far too limited. There's only one thing for it. We're going to have to earn some additional income. So earning money which is from outside our payslip. This is a daunting task if you've never earned income from outside your job before, which was the situation I was in up until about 2018, and that's when I found match betting. Without taking this step, I'd actually have half the amount in investments than I do right now. So before I tell you about my plans on how I look to earn additional income to get myself to millionaire status as soon as possible, I think it would be really helpful to highlight my two biggest sources of inspiration, which truly started me on this journey. My first source of inspiration was actually a YouTube video I stumbled across completely by accident. The YouTube video was created by an averagely popular Twitch streamer called Harris Heller. I'm not going to recover his video here, but in a nutshell, he describes how he grew his income to $150,000 per month. But he's done this by reinvesting his income from Twitch into a secondary business and then into another business and so on. For me, this was a really powerful concept, as it meant you don't need to make a lot of money to get started or even take big risks. I'll put a link to that video in the top right if you're interested in watching it. The second source was two books authored by Demarco, who I've actually got links for in the description below. I won't cover his books here, but it was actually a book that was counter to the current culture of investing into broad indexes to get rich. You might be questioning why I like this book so much, as I am very much a believer in investing into broad indexes, but you're going to have to read it to find out. Alongside his suggestions on a roadmap to increasing your income, he argues why you shouldn't wait to become rich by investing. So that's my inspiration, but what is my actual plan? Well, for me, I want to create a money waterfall, creating an income source which can supplement the starting of a secondary income source and so on. My money waterfall comes in 5 levels to kind of help visualize what I'm trying to do. I want to start with the end in mind, so let's start at the bottom with level 5. For me, there is no truer form of passive income than owning shares of other businesses, especially broad indexes. I can sit on my backside for months or even years at a time, and all these businesses that I've invested in will pay me dividends. And on top of that, they'll work day and night to look to increase their share price. But let's be real, in order to do this before I'm 40, I'm going to have to invest a hell of a lot more than I'm currently doing. By my calculations, I need to be investing around £4,500 per month, which means I need to find another £3,000 per month to get there. So how on earth am I going to close this gap? Well, this brings me to my money waterfall. Let's start off at the top with level 1, which is my current job. In popular culture, you'll see that it's glorified to drop out of college and start a business while you're sleeping on a sofa, because that's the only way to become a millionaire. I do think this way of thinking is massively overblown, and there's actually no reason why you can't exceed at your day job while actually setting up a business of your own on the side in your own time. Personally, I am fully dedicated to pushing my career forward as quickly as possible. After all, it's my biggest source of income, and I'll likely be doing it for a while. So a 10% pay rise here will make a massive impact on how much I can invest. The purpose of my job is to offer me a stable income which supports my standard of living, while being able to be my main driver of investments. But in addition, this will provide a small amount of seed money for my projects in level 2. But this isn't the only way I'm planning on making money from employment. I'm trying to look at smarter ways to add additional income when I trade my time for money. So in addition to my job in level 1, I've actually recently downloaded the mobile app Roamler, which I might make a video about in the future if you're interested. This brings us to level 2, which in my opinion is the biggest step to make, as you're starting to split your time invested away from how much money you're making, which is great when you're making lots of money, but it's terrible if you're putting in quite a bit of time and not getting a lot back for it. So it is a double-edged sword. So in level 2, we have this YouTube channel. The main purpose of YouTube for me is to provide seed money to support other projects which I class as real businesses. Businesses which take a decent chunk of capital to get going. We're not talking a lot of money here, but enough to be uncomfortable if you're trying to pay for it from your very own salary. So maybe a few thousand, for example. I've not come into YouTube thinking I'm suddenly going to be a full-time YouTuber, but it's more of a hobby which can generate an income which I can maybe grow over time. In reality, AdSense is only a very small part of making any meaningful money on YouTube, so I'm looking for additional ways to build revenue which both adds to the value of my audience but also grows my audience at the same time. This includes my Patreon, so link in below. I'm also working on some digital assets, which I'm currently working on with my good friend Ryan, who runs Making Money Simple, so watch this space. He actually has an awesome Instagram account and a YouTube channel, so feel free to check him out. I'll put some links on the screen. On top of this, I have my referrals from crypto.com, and maybe one day I'll have some sponsors. I'm still waiting on your call, Vanguard, so I am waiting. The vast majority of money which I make from YouTube is actually going to be reinvested into YouTube for the time being. I actually have a long shopping list of upgrades to make that comes to about a total of £3,000, as I'm in desperate need to increase the quality of especially my camera. Anyway, this means my YouTube channel is unlikely to make any sort of a profit for at least 18 months. It is very much a marathon, not a sprint. But some of my YouTube money has actually already gone into other projects which I'm currently working on, and I've actually not shared them before. This brings us on to level 3 of my waterfall. In level 3, I have my first ever business, which is called the K9 Menu. This is my first real business venture, which started around about 2 months ago after my good friend Jess reached out to me with a great business idea. In brief, it's a dog chew range for pubs called the K9 Menu. I can't take any credit for how good the branding looks because that's mainly Jess's work. On a side note, she has an awesome dog called Rudy. It's well worth checking out their Instagram account. I think the Instagram handle is something like a pup called Roo. I'll put it on the screen. So at this point, we've invested around about £1,000 in this to begin with, but it'll likely need a little bit more money over time. We have started trying our concept with a few pubs and cafes across the country, but we are looking for more. Maybe you happen to own or operate a dog-friendly pub or cafe in the UK. If you do, then feel free to contact us on Instagram at the K9 Menu. Saying all this, I am fully aware of the risks and survival rates of new businesses. Even though I'm confident in the idea and most importantly the people we have in the business, I know there's a high likelihood of failure. But you never know, we could be selling to Nestle in 5 years. You know, you've got a dream. Any profits made from this will either go into my investments in level 5 or will be put towards more projects in level 4. So talking about level 4, this contains business ideas which I haven't acted on yet but will require more capital investment, which I funnily enough don't have right now. So these include an NFT clothing brand, a networking app on your phone, a smelling salts brand for professionals, and then a few books that I want to write. But again, based on new business survival rates, I'm likely going to need quite a few more ideas for in the future. Good ideas come and go, some good, some bad, and then some that I change my mind on. This brings us back to the start with level 5, which is investing. Any money that I make from level 4 will either go into investing here or into other businesses in level 4. If you're interested in what my investment portfolio looks like, then I'll put a link in the top right hand corner. So there you have it, my plan to become a millionaire as soon as possible. As of mid-2021. Let's see where it takes us. If you have any similar plans, then I'd love to know what you're doing. Maybe you're further ahead than me. Anyway, that's all for this video. See you in the next one.